Ethan Walker had spent nearly 3 years trying to become a successful YouTuber, but nothing ever seemed to work for him. Every week he uploaded videos exploring abandoned houses, forgotten tunnels, and supposedly haunted places across the UK, yet his channel remained painfully small. Most of his videos struggled to reach even 1,000 views, and the comments were usually filled with people accusing him of faking evidence for attention. Some called him desperate, while others laughed at how hard he tried to act brave on camera. Ethan pretended the criticism did not bother him, but deep down it slowly consumed him. He became obsessed with proving everyone wrong. He wanted one investigation so terrifying and believable that people would never question him again. That opportunity appeared late one night when he discovered stories online about the abandoned Black Hollow Hospital, an enormous psychiatric hospital hidden deep in the countryside several hours outside London. According to local rumors, the hospital shut down after a horrifying incident in 1998, when multiple patients and doctors disappeared during a single night shift. Official reports blamed electrical fires and structural collapse, but survivors claimed something far worse had happened beneath the building. Former workers spoke about strange screams echoing through the underground wards after midnight, shadowy figures wandering empty corridors, and security footage showing patients standing motionless beside beds long after being declared dead. Since the closure of the hospital, nobody had stayed inside overnight. Teenagers occasionally broke in searching for thrills, but many returned terrified, claiming they heard voices whispering their names from dark hallways. Others vanished completely. The deeper Ethan researched the place, the more fascinated he became. He knew instantly this could finally be the video that changed his life forever. A week later, Ethan announced a special live stream on his channel titled "One Night Inside Black Hollow Hospital." The thumbnail showed the hospital entrance hidden in darkness beneath glowing red text reading, "If the stream ends, call the police." The title alone attracted massive attention. Thousands of people set reminders for the live stream hours before it even began. Ethan could hardly believe it. For the first time since starting YouTube, people were genuinely interested in one of his investigations. On the night of the stream, heavy rain poured across the countryside as Ethan drove toward the abandoned hospital alone. The deeper he traveled into the isolated area, the worse the weather became. Thick fog covered the empty roads, and his GPS repeatedly lost signal. By the time he finally reached the rusted gates of Black Hollow Hospital, it was nearly midnight. The hospital looked enormous in the darkness, its shattered windows reflecting flashes of lightning across the sky. The building seemed less like an abandoned hospital and more like something waiting silently in the rain. Ethan stepped out of the car wearing a nervous smile while thousands of viewers flooded into the live stream. Trying to sound confident, he adjusted his chest camera and said, "All right, everyone, tonight we find out whether Black Hollow deserves its reputation." The moment Ethan entered the hospital, the atmosphere felt wrong. The air inside was unnaturally cold, carrying the smell of mold, wet concrete, and rust. Long corridors stretched endlessly into darkness while broken wheelchairs sat abandoned beside peeling walls. Every footstep echoed loudly through the empty building. At first, Ethan attempted to joke with the audience, mocking old ghost stories while exploring the reception area and patient rooms, but his confidence slowly faded as strange things began happening around him. Lights flickered despite the building having no electricity. Metallic banging echoed somewhere deep within the hospital. Several times Ethan heard footsteps that seemed to stop whenever he stopped moving. The livestream chat noticed his growing fear immediately and began encouraging him to explore deeper. Thousands of comments flooded the screen telling him to visit the basement ward mentioned in local legends. Ethan laughed nervously and insisted he would eventually, though in truth the idea terrified him. Then, while reading old patient records scattered across the floor of Ward C, the livestream chat suddenly exploded with identical messages appearing faster than he could read them. "Who is standing behind you?" Ethan froze instantly. More comments appeared. "Turn around. Don't move. There's someone there." Slowly, Ethan turned and aimed his flashlight down the dark hallway behind him. Nothing was there. He laughed awkwardly and accused the viewers of trying to scare him, but the chat continued flooding with warnings. Minutes later, the livestream glitched for less than a second. Most viewers ignored it, but several replayed the footage and discovered something horrifying hidden within the distortion. At the far end of the corridor stood a tall figure wearing a hospital gown, staring directly into the camera. Ethan had not seen anyone there in person. Clips of the figure spread rapidly online, causing the livestream viewer count to explode from a few thousand to over 20,000 in minutes. Ethan's moderator, a woman named Chloe who managed the stream remotely from home, privately messaged him, repeatedly telling him someone appeared to be following him through the hospital. Ethan tried convincing himself it was just a prank or perhaps another urban explorer inside the building, but the fear in his voice became increasingly obvious. As midnight passed, the hospital seemed to grow more hostile around him. Doors slammed shut on their own. Strange, scratching noises echoed through the walls. The camera suffered repeated glitches whenever Ethan approached certain hallways. Then, while exploring the second floor, Ethan discovered an old elevator at the end of a corridor. The elevator should not have been functioning because the entire hospital had been abandoned for decades. Yet suddenly, a loud ding echoed through the hallway. Ethan stared in disbelief as the rusted elevator doors slowly opened by themselves. Inside sat an old hospital bed stained dark brown with age. A trail of what looked like fresh blood led from the elevator onto the floor outside. The livestream chat descended into chaos. Some viewers begged Ethan to leave immediately, while others encouraged him to follow the trail deeper into the building. Ethan's breathing became shaky as he slowly followed the blood downstairs toward a rusted metal door marked with faded warning signs reading, Ward 9, Authorized Personnel Only. Every local story Ethan had read mentioned Ward 9. According to rumors, it was the underground section of the hospital sealed after the disappearances in 1998. Standing before the stairwell leading underground, Ethan hesitated for several moments while Chloe repeatedly messaged him to leave the hospital immediately. Then something strange happened in the livestream chat. New usernames suddenly appeared posting disturbing messages such as "He found the door," "Welcome back," and "Don't let them see you." Even worse, the chat began predicting events seconds before they happened. One message simply read, "Don't look left." Confused, Ethan instinctively turned left and nearly screamed when a wheelchair slowly rolled across the corridor entirely on its own. Terrified but unwilling to end the stream, Ethan descended into the basement of Black Hollow Hospital. The underground ward felt completely different from the rest of the building. The air was thick and rotten, making it difficult to breathe. Children's drawings covered the walls beside deep scratch marks gouged into the paint. Rusted chains hung from locked doors while broken speakers mounted near the ceiling occasionally emitted distorted screams mixed with static. Ethan's flashlight flickered constantly as he explored deeper underground. Then he heard breathing directly behind him. Ethan spun around instantly, shining the flashlight wildly through the corridor, but nobody stood there. However, the viewers saw something else. During another brief camera glitch, a pale figure appeared inches behind Ethan's shoulder. Its face looked stretched unnaturally wide with hollow black eyes and a twisted smile. The image spread across social media immediately, pushing the livestream above 50,000 viewers. Panic finally consumed Ethan. He began searching desperately for a way out of the basement, but instead discovered a partially open metal door at the end of the corridor. Beyond it sat an abandoned operating theater, somehow still powered by flickering monitors. Surgical equipment lay scattered across the floor, while old machines buzzed softly in the darkness. At the center of the room rested a perfectly clean patient file untouched by dust. Ethan slowly opened it and instantly felt his blood run cold. Inside were photographs of him as a child, his home address, his date of birth, and screenshots taken from his YouTube channel. Across the front page, someone had written the words, "New patient admission approved." Before Ethan could react, every light inside the operating room shut off at once. The livestream switched automatically into night vision mode, bathing the room in sickly green light. The viewers immediately began flooding the chat with desperate warnings, because behind Ethan stood dozens of silent figures wearing hospital gowns. Their bodies were unnaturally thin, their faces pale and expressionless. Standing closest to Ethan was the same tall figure first seen in Ward. Ethan himself saw nothing in the darkness around him, but whispers suddenly filled the room from every direction. His breathing became frantic. Then the camera dropped violently onto the floor. The livestream dissolved into static mixed with Ethan's screams echoing through the basement. Metal doors slammed shut somewhere nearby while something heavy dragged slowly across the floor. Then silence. For several long seconds, the viewers saw only blackness and interference. Suddenly, the image returned. Ethan now sat motionless in a wheelchair wearing a hospital gown. His face looked pale, and an unnatural smile stretched across his lips while dark figures stood silently behind him. Slowly, words appeared across the screen. Patient successfully admitted. The live stream ended immediately afterward. The following morning, police searched Black Hollow Hospital after thousands of viewers reported Ethan missing. Officers discovered his broken camera and flashlight inside the basement ward, but found no trace of Ethan himself. Authorities publicly dismissed the incident as an internet hoax, though nobody could explain how Ethan vanished from a locked underground room. 3 days later, Ethan's channel unexpectedly uploaded the livestream again automatically despite being inactive. This time, however, the final 10 minutes appeared different depending on who watched it. Some viewers claimed hidden faces appeared in the static. Others heard whispers speaking their names through headphones. Several people swore they saw reflections of hospital patients standing behind them while watching late at night. The video spread rapidly across the internet before YouTube permanently deleted Ethan's channel. A week later, Chloe received a notification on her phone at exactly 3:03 in the morning. Ethan Walker is live now. Shaking with fear, she opened the stream and found herself staring once again at the basement corridors of Black Hollow Hospital. The camera slowly moved through the darkness before stopping in front of Ethan standing completely still beneath a flickering light. His skin looked pale gray, and his empty eyes stared directly into the camera. Behind him stood rows of silent patients motionless in the darkness. The viewer count displayed only one message. One watching. For nearly 30 seconds Ethan said nothing. Then very slowly he smiled and whispered, "You shouldn't have come back." The stream instantly ended and the channel disappeared forever. According to online rumors, however, people still occasionally receive notifications from Ethan's lost channel late at night. Those who open the stream claim they see endless hospital corridors filmed from a moving camera while distant screams echo through the darkness. And every livestream always shows the exact same viewer count. One watching.